Hi and welcome. My name is Bill Coons. I'm the artistic director of Shaker Bridge Theater. We are going to be presenting a play called Dancing Lessons that will open November 30th and run through December 17th. And I'm here with two of the actors, or the two actors who are in the show, Brandy Zarl and Oliver Wadsworth.
Hi.
So welcome. I thought we'd chat a little about the show. You are both New Yorkers. What have you done recently in the theater? What's your most recent experience?
My most recent was I did A Streetcar Named Desire, and I played Blanche Dubois at a wonderful regional theater in Norfolk, Virginia.
And I did a new play about Lizzie Borden in Rockland County called at the Penguin Rep Theater. And it was really crazy because there was just two people in it. There was Lizzie Borden, and then there was me playing all the other characters. So she killed me twice with an axe.
What drew you to this play? Something drew you out of New York and all the way up to New Hampshire. What was there about this play for the two of you that made you want to do it?
An incredible play. It's about a guy that is learning to dance, and he doesn't like to be touched. He's has Aspergers, and I was so drawn to it because my nephew is autistic, Aspergers, and I just found this play so funny and so moving about it. It's not like a serious issue play,
right,
but it touches on all the issues, but it's just about two human beings trying to connect.
Right. Yeah.
And for me, I play a dancer who is facing never dancing again. I've been injured in a terrible accident, and I, face that question. What if you could never dance or act again? But it's also about the relationship with these two people, and I too think it's incredibly funny and touching, and it's just how these people find what they need in each other.
Yes, and they need each other so much.
Yeah.
And everyone finds that person at some point in their life that changes it up for them. And
Right.
this is the person that does it for my character, and I
And
think
he
vice
does
versa.
this for me,
Right.
yeah.
How much did either of you know about Asperger's syndrome before this play? You said you have a nephew who...
I knew a little about it because he's now 13, my nephew. And so, my brother and his wife have been learning as they go along. He got diagnosed a little late when he was about 6. And so they've been just trying to play catch up ever since. You hear about it being something that you want to catch right away and start to work on.
Right.
So I've been really curious about it since then.
Yeah, yeah.
I had recently done a lot of research on it. I had been working on a possible production of Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night,
Right.
which also deals with that. And so it's coincidental that I'd been working on that show and then came to this one. So my knowledge is new.
Right. Yeah.
And still learning
Right.
the specificities and the different, I guess, aspects of where on the spectrum, as
Right.
we were discussing, somebody falls. And the
Since it is-
functionality of somebody versus,
Exactly. Since it is on a spectrum, there are varying
Yeah.
degrees of
right.
what
Yes.
Asperger's is and how it presents itself. I know 100 years ago when I was a college professor, I had a couple of students who had Asperger's, and one of them was actually in a production that I did, which was a real huge challenge for him because it involved interacting with another person over and over and over again. But the more we rehearsed and the more comfortable he felt with what he needed to do, the easier it was for him.
Yes.
It's a fascinating
As
process.
Temple Grandin says, autistic Asperger's people can be very good actors because they really have to learn step by step what it is to interact, to learn how to ask a woman on a date,
Right.
But really, it's incremental steps, and they have to really, figure it out for themselves in a different way than
Right.
neurotypical or regular functioning people.
One of the things that I love about this play is that those of us who are not on the spectrum are called neurotypicals.
Funny, right?
It's so nice to have a name
Yeah.
applied to us. You know?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes to the point of that, Asperger's people think of neurotypicals as kind of from another planet. There's a great website that I've been looking at called otherplanet.net. And it is, talking from the Asperger's point of view
Right.
of like, these people are so strange. They do this thing called small talk. What is that? Because, as an Aspergian, I want to get to the point. And I don't want to talk about the weather and all that. What is that? It's
Right.
really wonderful
Right.
to hear their point of view.
Yes. And it's not like someone with Asperger's is this vacant vessel. There's a lot
Yes.
going on there. That's one of the things that I love about this play, because it
Yeah.
really reveals so much about this
Yeah.
person that
Right.
normally we wouldn't see,
Yeah.
because we think that people with Asperger's are, like we were talking about the other night, a little odd,
Yes.
maybe.
Right. And as Temple Grandin says, that everyone's different, as you
Right.
talked about on the spectrum.
Right.
It's not only, they're somewhere on the spectrum, but they have their particularities going on. For instance, my character is really interested in science. So that plays a huge part in how
Yes.
he functions. It's kind of through a scientific lens.
Right, and a very rational
Yes.
lens as well.
Yes.
Now, you were both saying how funny the play is, and I absolutely agree. It's one of the things that I love about it. In one particular part of the play, there is a lot of humor that addresses, or that is a focus of the humor, and it's his fear of human touch.
Yes.
And there's a lot of humor about that. Is it the kind of humor where we're laughing at his inability to touch? Or where does the humor come from with that?
I think there's something universal in it, like when anybody learns to really touch somebody, but he just has those extra hurdles to get over. So I think we can all relate. I think maybe partly
Yeah.
we're laughing at him, but mostly we're laughing because we recognize something within
Yeah.
him. It's universal.
And also, we know enough about him by that point,
Yes.
so that we know that he's not going.
We
if
know his
someone-
struggles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and if someone slips on a banana peel and falls on the ground, I don't know why that image is so ubiquitous. I've never seen
Making
it
me laugh
happen.
already.
But if someone slips on a banana peel and falls on the ground, we laugh at them.
Mm-hmm.
But if they fall on the ground and they don't get up and they stop moving, it's no longer funny.
Right, right.
So with this character, with Ever, which is the character's name,
He keeps popping up.
absolutely, and we keep cheering for him
Yes.
every
There's
time.
resilience, like
Yeah,
anybody.
that-
you
yeah.
know?
Yes.
He
And,
keeps-
and that should go for your character too.
Yeah.
The resilience is incredible, and I think he recognizes that in her, and that's one of the things he's so curious about.
Yeah, that-
Somebody who's had an accident who's a dancer.
And remains hopeful. And I discovered in a rehearsal last night, when I even talk about dance, I felt she wants to dance then, and I could feel, even with this injury she has,
Right.
I'm just discovering about her, she still dances in everything she does, if that makes sense,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was just a discover at rehearsal last
One-
night. So.
One of the things that I think is interesting for a lot of actors and threatening for a lot of actors is that we're doing this production in the round. This may be the first time.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
This may be the first time that this play has ever been done in the round.
Maybe.
Because the play's not that old. It's only 2 years old, 3 years old. But it changes a lot. Have either of you worked in the round before?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
With you.
Well, yes.
Shaker Bridge Theater.
Right.
We did it a lot at Actors Theater of Louisville. I
Oh,
did
you
a
did?
production of Dracula in the round.
Oh,
And that was
yes.
incredible.
Yes.
Very immersive production where Dracula would pop up in the audience and the whole audience would scream on that
I
side
think
of
I saw that production. I was there at the same time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is fun. That's a part of it. Being in the round is just even more alive and intimate, it seems to me.
Yes. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't escape the energy that
Yes.
comes with being watched from every direction.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And one of the things that people like a lot about the theater is that they use the word intimate to describe the experience of being there, which I think is really important, especially for a play like this.
Yes,
This play
Yes.
needs that intimate relationship.
absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think these two people learn during the course of this play?
I talk about it. I say, I've learned that I'm trying to think of it exactly. That it's okay to love. I mean, I'm still working on it.
Right.
That I learn how to love
Right.
in a different way, or learn to love something else besides dance, which was the thing that I married my entire identity to.
Exactly, exactly.
And then realizing, I think, for the first time in my life, and I can certainly relate to that as an actor,
Sure.
especially when you're a young actor, it's
Yeah.
hard not to tie your entire identity to that. So,
Right.
And with somebody with Asperger's, it's really hard when the routine changes. It can be monumental
Yes.
and really shake his world. And I think he learns that the word try, just to try something, try touching, try communicating, try strawberries again. He says he's allergic to strawberries. That is,
And being sneezed on by a horse.
yes, exactly. Maybe even try being sneezed on by a horse. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that he would try the things that he said he didn't like, because people with Asperger's have a lot of black and white thinking, right and wrong thinking, and so he's going to try to mix it up a little after meeting this one. I think that's the
Right,
change,
right.
big change that happens.
And one of the things that he talks about in the show at one point is about change.
Yeah.
He's a college professor, and one of his students asks him, is it possible for people to change?
Because our planet is going towards extinction. That's
Right.
what he's teaching. That's what my
Right.
character's teaching.
Right.
And she says, can people change? Can we help our planet? And he says, I don't know. I have no data.
Right, right.
But he learns to maybe have some more data about that.
Yeah, and I think this is what ties these two characters together, because at the very end of the play, there is some change that is starting.
Yes.
You know, because Ever says that change is really, really difficult, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's very scary.
Yes. But you got to do
change.
it. But it's necessary to do it.
Right. And I think one of the things we find out in this play is that this isn't just a play about someone with Asperger's.
Right.
So that would be like saying that Hamlet is a play about the divine right of kings. And obviously it's not.
Yes.
It's about something much more than that. And in that same way, this is not a play about an injured dancer. It's not a play about someone with Asperger's.
Right. It's about two people connecting.
Yes.
And universal in that
Right.
way. Yes.
And that, I mean, maybe
And changing.
Exactly. Or deciding to try to change anyway.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one of the things they find out is that's easier to do if you have someone
Who's a catalyst?
who's a catalyst, or even someone who's with you, if not physically, then at least emotionally, they're
Yes,
with
yes.
you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because none of what happens, neither of you could have done it by yourself.
Right.
right,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to repeat, Dancing Lessons, which is a wonderfully funny play and very touching also, opens on November 30th, runs through December 17th at Shaker Bridge Theater. And I have one important question left to ask these two wonderful actors, and that is, did you bring winter clothes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I was talking to an actor
Started
a few
already.
years ago from Los Angeles who was coming out here to work on a play in February, and he said, "So, Bill, I should bring a jacket, right?"
Yeah, good idea.
It's winter. Let us warm you up with this play. How's that? Is that
Yes,
good?
that's
Okay.
great.
Thank you so much.